cocktail, we're going to ask you to return a verdict of not guilty. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Isaacs. Gentlemen, the clerk, please.
State calls Lauren Gooch.
As she's coming into the courtroom, ladies and gentlemen, recall I didn't explain to you very well how the alternate juror process works. The way that'll happen at the end of the trial is that I have this box here with all of your names, and I'll pick one of your names randomly out of that box. That will be the alternate. So we don't know who it is as we go throughout the course of the trial. Mr. McMillan, I didn't want you thinking just because you were juror number 13 that you And be sure to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you. Please have a seat.
I'm gonna have you pull that microphone up just because we're recording. Can you state your name for the record and spell your last name, please?
Lauren Googe, Gouge.
I'll have you pull it. Let's see. You might need to, yeah, just because we got to make sure we're getting everything. I'll have you say that one more time.
Lauren Googe, Gouge.
Ms. Googe, do you know Kristen Wilson, or I guess Kristen Chapman now?
Yes,
And how do you know her?
she's my neighbor 2 doors down.
Did you know her back in June of 2019?
I did.
And did something happen in the early morning hours of June the 9th of 2019 that's brought you into court today?
Yes, it did.
Can you tell the jury about that?
Yes, I had just fallen asleep. It was a Saturday night, and my doorbell rang, and which is not usual for me. And I live alone, so I at first didn't go straight to the door. I stayed in the stairwell and yelled out and asked who was at the door, and just yelled as loud as I could. And she yelled back, "It's Kristen, your neighbor. It's Kristen, your neighbor. Please open the door." And so I went to the front door and opened the door, and she said, "Can you please call 911?" And I invited her in and closed the door and locked it and called 911. She looked like she had been in some kind of accident, or she was kind of had a lump on her head. And so I called 911.
Okay. And what was her emotional state when she showed up at your house?
She was in shock, kind of, and scared, very scared. She was worried that, she wanted to go in the kitchen, in the corner of the kitchen, away from the windows. That was the first thing, kind of for protection, because she was scared.
Okay. And do you know about what time it was in the morning?
I don't know exactly what time it was. I would say it was probably after midnight, maybe between 11:30 and 1, if I had to estimate. I don't know exactly what time.
Okay. And Judge, at this time, the parties have agreed prior to stipulate to the 911 call.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, this is just 1 and 2. All right.
The call and the CAD report we received is exhibits 1 and 2. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Any objection? None. Those be received.
And we have published the 911.
You may.
with a GMT. Call one on Sunday, June 9, 2019 at 1:46 a.m. with a GMT offset of negative 240 minutes. Agent ID extension is 204. County 911, where your emergency? I think they would like to be. They would be. You're at 1-5.
Good morning, everybody. Fair use does apply to this video.
Okay, and where did the person get her? She was down at 1425 Alden Lane. Her dog was there in the house, and she confirmed her dog. She's severely and run out for you. She's not being able. I don't think. She has a head trauma. Very long trauma. Okay. I'm very concerned. Are you there? I'm here. What's your name? I want to do G-O-U-G-E is my last name. Okay, who hit her? Her boyfriend. What's his name?
Yep, severely beaten. It does not look good.
Geoffrey Paschel, Paschal.
Yep, and his attorney had no mask on. Still doesn't. Jeffrey's sitting right here. He has a mask on in the gray suit.
41. Right. Okay. Is there weapons in the house? I have no weapons here. Is there weapons in the house? She does not think so. And she has been in drugs or drinking? She's been in drugs or drinking. She's been drinking. She has teeth. No, she doesn't drink. They both have been drinking. It was hours ago. He doesn't know hours ago. And she just got out and she just came to my door and she has very large headphones. Okay. So you're 15 at Aldenwood? 1501, Aldenwood Lane. And what's your name? I'm sorry.
I'm going to have to get Shelby on here. Shelby and I talk in the DMs all the time. She's another one of his victims.
865-599-6489. Okay. What's he wearing? What is he wearing? Do you know what he's wearing? She's not sure. He has jeans and a red t-shirt previously.
Oh, I need to get Mary on too. Oh, I need to get Mary back.
Red shirt jeans. How deep does he drive? He drives a white Jeep Versa. What's the big girl's name? Kristen?
There he is.
What else is that?
Abuser. Abuser. Trigger warning, abuser.
49. She was like her Hispanic. Caucasian.
And KD, you're right. If he wasn't on the show, they wouldn't be covering it.
A navy blue. I don't know. It's a one-piece outfit, navy blue, with flowers. I'm gonna transfer you at ambulance service. Okay, don't hang up. Okay.
Yeah, John is in there. I was talking to him too. Teresa's in there. There's a lot of people in there.
Camera communication, what's the location of your emergency? 1501 Aldenwood
Hi,
Lane.
Queen of O'Hara.
1501 Aldenwood Lane. No. I'm just gonna make those not 1425.
No, they're not together. He's with Warrior. Why has she dumped him yet?
1501 Aldenwood Lane. The perpetrator is at 1425. The perpetrator is at 1501 Aldenwood Lane. Okay.
And did you wait with Ms. Wilson in your home until the police arrived?
Yes, I did.
At some point, we just heard the 911 call.
Somebody said there,
that you
hi,
made
Barbie.
initially. Did you
You're in there
make an
too.
additional call at some point?
I did. The police arrived pretty shortly after that phone call. But like I said, we were in the corner of the kitchen away from the windows.
So on the stand
we
is
were
Lauren
scared that he
Gage. We
might
heard
be
that. She's the
following
victim's
and
neighbor.
come, to my house and follow her. She showed up without shoes on, so she had run to my house.
Yes, they picked the
to
jury
escape.
earlier.
And so she was worried that he might be following her. So we were in the corner of the kitchen, and the doorbell rang, and there was a knock at the front door. But I didn't want to answer the door without knowing who it was, and the police didn't have their their lights blaring or anything like that. And so I called 911 again and asked if they could make themselves known that it was the police. So I felt safe answering the door.
And was it actually the police?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And did you go with Ms. Wilson to the hospital?
I did.
Okay. Did you drive her there?
I did.
Okay. And Judge, I'll pass the witness at this time.
Good afternoon, Ms. Gooch.
Hi.
My name is Gregory Isaacs. I represent Geoffrey Paschel. You live adjacent to Miss Wilson, correct?
Correct.
Very short,
It's, 2 houses down.
2 houses down. And you had never had an occasion where Miss Wilson complained to you about any behavior as it related to her and Geoffrey before, correct?
That is correct.
And you that evening did not
Good morning,
observe
Honeywig.
any
Yes, that's Jeffrey Honeywig.
action, conduct,
Hi,
activity
hot spicy
related
tea.
to Mr. Paschel, correct?
Well, I observed what she was telling me.
What she was telling you.
Correct.
And when the 911 operator asked if she'd been drinking, she told you correct. She had.
She told me that they had been out to dinner that night and had some wine.
She said she
together.
grabbed her by her neck and slammed her
I didn't
head
hear that
against
in
a
the background of the
wall.
call. Did she say she had been drinking, yes or no, when you asked her?
Oh my God,
Pursuant to
he's
the
trying to
911 call?
re-victimize this woman.
Can you ask the question?
Why do you have some hesitation with answering the question?
Oh, he's disgusting. Now he's trying to badger her. Really? He disabled that woman's phone. He pounded her head. The hell is wrong with these people? She had a concussion.
I understand your question. Did Ms. Wilson say that to her when the 911 operator asked? Is that correct? Yes.
Because I remember he said she did it to herself to try
And
to
there
get
you're
custody
looking at
of
the
their child.
defendant in
That
this
was so
case,
stupid.
Geoffrey Paschel, formerly starred in TLC's show 90 Day Fiance. Before the 90 days, he's 43 years old, facing some very serious charges, including kidnapping and assault.
911 operator's question, Ms. Wilson told you that she had been drinking that evening, correct?
Correct.
And
Oh my God, this was all over the news. That's why he wasn't at the reunion.
honest and truthful.
They didn't
correct?
invite him because of
Yes,
the
sir.
charges.
And you had basically no information to provide as 911 dispatch other than what you had been told by Ms. Wilson, correct?
That's correct.
We're gonna
And
see.
you
He's
had
attacking a
calls
witness.
for
That doesn't make any
between
sense to me.
11 and 1, but the call indicated that it was received by 1:46.
Yeah, this occurred over 2 years ago, so I knew it was in the middle of the night, and I had been probably asleep for less than an hour, and I was just basing that based on when I normally go to sleep. So, like I said, it was an estimate. I didn't know an exact time.
Well, did Ms. Wilson tell you that this encounter took place hours ago?
She said yes, it had been going on for a little while.
Yeah, but she did it to herself. That
Well,
makes
she got
sense.
home at 11 and she's telling you that the attack lasted 3.5 hours? If there was an attack?
If who got home at 11, I'm confused by your question.
Did she tell you that they went upstairs and went to sleep? Did she tell you she'd fallen asleep?
No, she did not.
So it's been 2 years, your recollection is somewhat, you would agree, hazy about what you observed on that Saturday night, June 9th.
They need to bring up the
2019.
previous charges and then the
I'd say
ones when him and
the
Mary got
exact
into that fight as well.
Yes, but the details have stuck with me.
And you would
And how he
agree with
brought
me that when she
false
came to your
charges
house,
against
she wasn't
Shelby.
dressed as if she had just left the brasserie having dinner and cocktails, correct?
She was still dressed.
And cheating on Varia
She
with
was?
this woman in Mexico.
What was she wearing?
And then talking to
wearing
another woman in the UK. I've talked to all of
One
them.
piece, I call it a romper. It's like a dressier outfit, but it's a one piece that is kind of in style now. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's just a one piece outfit that zips up in the back usually.
And when Miss Wilson was at your house, she never went into detail about the specifics of what she said happened, correct?
Can you ask the question again? I'm sorry.
Miss Wilson didn't go into detail about what she said happened while she was at your home
She did go into detail, certain details about how the big bump had gotten on her head and.
Remember, this man has already served time in prison
Well,
for
did she
drug
say
charges.
it
Was it
lasted-
30 months or so?
An altercation lasted 3.5 hours?
She said that they had been arguing and the abuse and fighting had started after they got home, and then that he had taken any means of her to be able to call 911 away from her. So he had taken her phone and her
You see,
computer.
when he was arrested, what did
She
he have?
had no way
Marijuana
to
and
contact
cocaine on him?
911,
And
that's
he
why
had a
she was
firearm.
coming to my house for me to call 911.
Okay, and you're saying she was dressed as though she just left dinner at 1:43.
She was still dressed in what I would assume she went out to dinner in, or what
Then
would
he
be
stole from
appropriate
Home
to wear
Depot.
for a restaurant to dinner.
So he had that charge.
And she
He's a
said
disgusting
they
piece of
were arguing. So,
Trash.
she acknowledged that they were drinking, and was there an accusation of infidelity?
No,
So she did acknowledge they went to dinner, they were drinking, correct?
yes.
And you say they were drinking wine?
Excuse me.
Yeah, that's how I recall it, yes.
I'm drinking tea to try to help my throat with some honey.
And there was an argument that started at the Brasserie restaurant, correct?
From what I recall, the argument started when they got home from the Brasserie restaurant, but that's how I recall it.
His attorney is just as
So-
cocky as he is.
We knew that both the drinking and we knew the argument was which states it was mutual.
And then last year for
regarding
Christmas, he was kicked out of a
issues of
restaurant too for doing the same
infidelity and
shit,
monogamy.
trying to start a fight when he was with that young
I don't recall
girl.
exact details of how it started. I know that an argument ensued when they got home from the Brasserie, and that's all.
Well, at this point, when the police arrived, Have you seen the videos, the body camera footage?
I have not.
Well, you called 911 on that
Many mug
Saturday
shots.
evening
There you go.
on June 9th/10.
That's the one that they're going
on
through
two
now.
occasions,
Drug
correct?
charges,
Yes.
robbery. Look at him.
And
Many charges.
Ms. Wilson, at that point, when the police arrived, she seemed composed. Would you agree?
I would not agree with that, no.
Well, was there anything preventing her from calling 911 or you handing the phone to her so she could tell dispatch what happened?
She was very distraught and very scared when she showed up at my house. So I think she was in too much shock to be able to do that herself.
Well,
Hi, Cooch.
she can answer your questions, correct?
She could.
What did y'all do while you waited for the police? Drink coffee?
I lost my voice this
No,
weekend,
we
girl.
hid
It's
in the
getting
corner
better.
of my kitchen,
Hid in the corner of your kitchen.
away from windows.
And she indicated that she thought Mr. Paschel was coming over.
She was afraid that he had followed her over because she had escaped from her house.
Did she tell you that he was in bed asleep?
She did not. Well,
Hi, Maria.
can I correct that, please?
You may clarify your testimony.
Thank you. She told me that they both were in bed. He had fallen asleep. She had pretended to be asleep, and that's how she got away into my house.
Well, did she tell you that she had been drinking mimosas at the brasserie? And
I was going to answer this point.
let me withdraw that question. Did she tell you that they went upstairs and passed out?
No, she did not.
And
Hi, Breezy girl.
you basically had no personal knowledge when they arrived at Krista Wilson's residence, correct?
Correct.
You have no personal knowledge about what happened at her residence aside from what she told you, correct?
I did not. I witnessed it. No.
I have nothing further.
He's an arrogant little prick. That's why Geoffrey has it.
Thank
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I've been told that your lunch has arrived. So we will take a break here. I also have some cases on my regular docket that I need to take up while you're back there eating.
Okay,
With
they're
the court
taking a
officers,
break.
Again, it's important that you don't discuss this case with each other or with anybody else. Just have a very good and enjoyable lunch. All rise for the jury. You may leave your
All right, guys. So they're going to
What a
lunch
case this
now.
is already shaping up to be. Defendant Geoffrey Paschel, who formerly starred
Yeah.
on a reality show, is being accused of brutally beating his fiance at the time.
Brutally
And you
beating
heard
his
both sides
fiance.
detail different
Brutally
stories in this case.
beating
And
her.
then you heard testimony from the first witness, who a neighbor. of
Brutally
the
beating
alleged
her is
victim,
what they're saying.
what's known as an outcry witness, someone that an alleged victim may go to after experiencing something. And the allegation is that he brutally beat her and then held her there, stopped her from being able to call for help, and she escaped from her own home worried about her pet. We're
Yes,
going to take
I
a
will be
quick
talking
break
about this
and
later.
then dive more into these awful
So
details. when
I have to
PTV
see
Live
what time they're
continues.
coming back from
And by
lunch.
the way,
I may
October
pick up that
is
stream as
Domestic
well.
Violence Awareness Month. We'll be
But
right back.
he is a disgusting piece of, to me, I never liked him even when he was on the show. I know a lot of people seem to like Geoffrey. I never did. I interviewed Mary on my old channel, and she gave us some information on that channel. Mary and I still talk. Mary sent me 2 paintings that she did on canvas. She's a beautiful soul. I've talked to Shelby in the DMs. She was going to come on one time. I don't know if you guys were aware, but Geoffrey pressed charges against her. He said that she was stalking him. She had moved to Tennessee to stalk him, and that's not true. Geoffrey found the house for her, took the videos and sent them to her for the house that she was moving into. Shelby has been trying to get an order against Geoffrey. and he's filing charges in counties that she doesn't live in. So Geoffrey is just a psycho. Now we know that Varya won the visa lotto. She's been here. She was being shown in Seattle. I have known for quite some time that Geoffrey was with Varya. She went down to Florida. They visited his mom. Then she came back. So she goes between Florida and she goes between Tennessee. Geoffrey was also seeing a twin in, was it Mexico or New Mexico? He was seeing her. He was talking to someone else in the UK that reached out to me and sent me a lot of their messages. He is a disgusting piece of trash, is what he is. Yeah, he's disgusting. And then, you know, Mary is the one that he was with when Varya flew in and surprised him. Last year in December, Mary and her boyfriend at the time went out with Geoffrey and this young girl that they were seeing. Mary was on her phone and she was texting. The girl kept asking to see her phone. Mary told her no. Geoffrey was drunk. The young girl he was with was drunk. And the girl kept trying to grab Mary's phone. They were actually asked to leave the restaurant. They got outside and the cops were called again because Geoffrey and his girlfriend were being, the woman he was with was being so belligerent. Mary gave that information when she was on the channel with me. Yeah, so it's he is not a very nice person. She also, when she was on the panel with me, she discussed the fight that she got into and how it was a fight, and she wasn't going to be abused like she was in another relationship she was in. When I forgot if she said her legs were broken, whatever, but she and Geoffrey had gotten into it as well. Geoffrey is an abuser. That's who he is. He is an abuser. And I hope he really gets what's coming to him tonight. Yes. Yep. He's got charges from, let me go back. Let me see. Let me remember. He went into a Home Depot, rolled out like a bunch of lights that were worth like $500. He was arrested on possession. He had cocaine, marijuana, and a firearm. He served time in prison. Geoffrey has an extensive, maybe I shouldn't use the word extensive, but he's not a stranger to the criminal justice system. There he is. These are all his mugshots right here. All the mugshots. If I'm not mistaken, this is the one from him and Mary right here. This is the one with him and the ex-girlfriend. The reason he wasn't at the reunion when he was on that season is because of the charges that were there. I don't know if him and Varya together, the last time they were in Florida, I guess it was like, 4 or 5 months ago, but I know she was going back and forth. I can find out. I can ask either Mary or Shelby. Yep. But he tried to undermine why he did the time. I don't think 90 Day actually, by Sally, I don't think they actually vetted him. But once it all made, no, they had to. But once it made the news because he was on there and everything else, they did not invite him to the reunion. They invited Varya, but she didn't go. She and Geoffrey were supposed to do their own tell-all. And he kind of like did a tell-all, but he was going to tell his story, and I've never heard it. So we're going to see what happens with him. But I just wanted to bring you guys this. Yes, he was, okay, so last summer, well, they went to Gatlinburg, and I'm not even going to tell you what happened there. So Dom was there, Marth was there. I guess she was Marth's wife. A couple of other ladies were there. But yes, so he got in trouble in Gatlinburg as well. Yep. Well, I think they are together, but I haven't read anything about them, or nor has Shelby or Mary told me anything about them not being together. Mary is so happy now. She is smiling. She looks so good. She's a beautiful woman. I think you know what? I'm trying to see how they do it. If you're not convicted, he wasn't convicted. He had charges, but he wasn't convicted. Or the charges were hit after he got on the show and they started showing up. Yeah, so he hasn't did that tell-all. He did a tell-all talking about he was going to tell all. And I hope justice will be served. I really do. Because he deserves to get everything. But this is not his first rodeo at all. This is not. Then to say this woman did this to herself so she can get custody of their child is sick. She was severely beaten. So anyway, I'm going to keep Court TV up. If they come back, I will stream it. They should be back in about an hour. They normally take an hour for lunch. So if you guys are here, if you're able to make it, fine. If not, it will be up so you can check it out. But I will see you all later. I'm serious. I woke up with the school shooting. I just uploaded that. Well, Barbie woke me up about the school shooting, and I jumped on that and I streamed that. I pre-recorded it and I streamed it and I put it up. Oh, I'm not sick. My throat was just really, really, really scratchy from all the yelling I did this weekend and laughing. See, he shouldn't. They should bring all of his past behaviors into the courtroom. They really need to, because they will see a pattern with him. He has a pattern. I think he has short man syndrome. I've never liked him. I know a lot of people seem to like him. Dom likes him. John likes him. I do not like Geoffrey at all. He's on TV right now. Okay, what TV is he on, Terry? Because he hasn't been on 90 Days in a couple of seasons. Yeah, Barbie. There were they said there were multiple injuries, but they hadn't announced if anyone had passed. So they hadn't announced if anyone had passed. I hope he's found guilty. I really do. Hi, Deanna. Hi, dear Yvette. We have an active shooter here in Arlington, Texas, outside of Dallas and Fort Worth at a high school. And they're doing a search. They were doing a methodical search for him or her. Okay, because Court TV is on pause right now. Yeah, so they're not doing anything right now. Hold on. Let me go back.
In Ms. Gouja's testimony, that was elicited by both sides.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Are we really in a position now?
Hold on. So yes, so they're talking outside the jury. Hold on. Let me bring this to you guys. Hold on. Yeah, they're talking outside of the jury because the jury went to eat.
We would continue, Ms. Gooch is a separate issue, although it's intertwined with Ms. Wilson. We would object to body cam footage that showed Ms. Wilson and contains hearsay.
It's not hearsay if it's coming from her.
It's not a court statement in an extrajudicial statement offered for the truth of the matter asserted, and also under 401 and 403.
That woman is not a stalker.
I need to see it. Can you play it, Jenna? How long is it?
It's about 5 minutes more than what the video that I said last night.
So 10 minutes?
It's just a small portion of it, yeah.
Okay.
How can it be hearsay if it's coming directly from the person that's on the damn body cam footage? And the other woman is there. Ooh, thank you, Barbie. I have it on as well, but I have it on mute because we're looking at this.
Sorry, we thought we were him.
Oh, okay.
We're very scared.
That's all right. The handle. Is all right.
We left the lights off just for very scared.
All right.
This is Kristen.
Hey.
We left the lights off, we stayed down, because we didn't know, I mean, she's been very bad. She just, I was asleep, she rang the doorbell,
What's going on?
she's been beat very seriously. Yeah. We got him right and he turned me up against my kitchen floor and my living room floor, he flipped my couch and turned me up against it and probably about 2, maybe 3 hours ago, I went laying in bed, pretending to be asleep, he had my phone. He went through my phone, he was playing on it and deleting everything.
Okay. These guys are gonna check you out. I have to first start asking questions, okay? You just walk out the house, around the house.
Yeah,
You grab first. Or anything?
no, I never went to
Okay, you're fine. What's your first name?
Kristen,
Are you familiar with their situation? Has this happened before?
Our dogs are friends and, you know, to this degree, I don't really, but, you know, where I said, oh, you know, when I was in, right now, first that open, so we just like hunched down, and when you guys saw me, thought it was him, so I called that, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right, I understand. I saw you poke your head out, you did know for the record.
Well, I heard my because we just hunched down, there was no one who's gonna come after us, so, I'm sorry.
So that's the footage that they're showing right now. It might last, Maria, it might last a day, it might last 2 days, but I think they'll be finished with all the testimony within a day or two. Well, at least they had a quick plan of action for the school. They got those buses there in no time.
Yes, I'm not a teacher, because I'm school.
It'll be exasperated driving backwards, that's why I'm putting you.
I didn't even think about that, I get it.
No, it's fine. Like I said,
I'm far, it's at Parkwest. I didn't even think about that. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Thank you so much.
Over anything? I got my nephews, Charlie DeNovo. Good kid.
You're great. Sorry.
It is sad, Payne.
Let's go over
And the only reason I'm asking to play it now, even though we had initially agreed that we would not be playing it, is because, I mean, the defense here is she was so belligerent drunk that she's falling down everywhere, but yet she's able to have a conversation with the officer. I'm not entering, asking to enter any of her statements. I just think the jury should be able to see exactly her demeanor and hear her as she's talking to the officers immediately after, based on their statements of her being so drunk.
Well, I don't understand the legal touchstone of belligerent. I never said she was belligerent. In the email to Chambers, she mentioned, or to us, belligerent would open the door. I mean, the reality of the proof is they were drinking cocktails.
So that means that she was too drunk to realize that she was beat the hell up.
Served by her friend. That is replete with hearsay, and it is overly.
I'm sorry, what are the actual hearsay declarations in that?
I couldn't hear over probably 60 to 70% of it, and at the office we can't hear a lot of it.
Because I think she gave the defendant's name and spelled it. That would be a hearsay declaration. But other than that, what facts were given by the victim there that are being offered for the truth of the matter asserted?
Thank you.
The fact, I mean, her body language, they're attending to her. Miss Gooch keeps talking. I mean, it is not relevant under 401, under 403. We would strenuously object. I think it's impossible
What
to
grounds
excise.
under 403?
Is the prejudicial effect if the court finds it's probative and it's not hearsay.
How is that prejudicial?
Thank you.
I mean, it's very hard to hear anything she said. I mean, how is it?
She's sitting there in the corner being attended to. What is the relevance of that with the allegations of assault, kidnapping, and interference with the 911 call?
Well, Mr. Isaacs, I'll let you finish your argument. You have any other grounds you'd like to raise?
We object to that coming in.
Okay. Well, generally, there are a couple things at play here. Generally, the prior consistent statement of a witness is not admissible to bolster the testimony of that witness. An exception to that becomes if the credibility of that witness has been attacked, or if allegations have been made that she is fabricating evidence.
Yes.
We're in somewhat of an unusual situation here because Ms. Wilson has not even testified yet, but I think it is clear through what we've heard already in jury selection, opening statement, and during the defense cross of Ms. Gouge, that her credibility is being attacked, and it's very clear that the defense is arguing and has made statements.
So you
to the
hurt
jury,
yourself.
that these things did not happen as Ms. Wilson said they happened, i.e. they were fabricated. So that's one thing. And another aspect of this is that Mr. Isaacs did directly ask Ms. Gouge what the alleged victim's demeanor was as she was speaking with the police. And Mr. Isaacs seemed to contend from his question that she was calm and composed. Ms. Gouge, on the other hand, did not think that she disagreed with that characterization. I do think at this point there are two separate grounds for admissibility of the video at this time.
He is
Number one,
very triggering,
I
Shaylin.
think by Mr. Isaacs' questioning of Ms. Gouge regarding the alleged victim's demeanor, I think that would become admissible just to see. I think the video would be admissible at that point just to see the victim and not necessarily hear the statements that she's saying, but how she's conducting herself, how she is responding to the questions that are being posed. There have been very strong, I don't know if there's been an out and out statement that she was being drunk and argumentative, but you can read between the lines pretty clearly from what the defense has stated here today that they're certainly trying to paint that picture for this jury.
Yeah.
So I think it is relevant for the jury to see the alleged victim here, to see how she was acting, how she was responding to the police. Was she intoxicated? I think the video is relevant for that purpose.
Thank you. Just because she was drinking and intoxicated, don't mean she didn't get her ass beat.
It's a separate grounds for admissibility. I think that even though she hasn't testified yet, I think that her credibility, Ms. Wilson's credibility, has been attacked.
It's been attacked from the beginning.
To the point that the limited statements that
Jeffrey,
she
your lawyer
made,
effed up.
that could be called factual hearsay statements, I do think that they would be admissible at this point as prior consistent statements of the complaining witness. And then the other statements that she made were made for the purposes of a medical diagnosis. She was really talking with the EMTs at that point.
Yep. Woman had
some
a
of the things that had
damn
happened,
slight
and that would be
concussion.
accepted hearsay as well, that would be admissible. Now, Ms. Gouge is recorded on the statement, on the video, making a statement, basically recounting what we have heard here today. I do not think that her credibility was attacked to the point on cross-examination that it would make her statement admissible as it's depicted on this body cam evidence. So I'm going to sustain the objection in part, overrule it in part. State can play the portion of the body cam video that we just saw, with the exception of the hearsay statements of Ms. Gouge recounting her statement to the police. Okay. Anything else we need to take up before we break for lunch? Anything for defense? Okay. We let them out at 12:45. Can we resume the trial at 1:45?
All right, you heard his honor.
All right,
Boy, oh
guys.
boy, some interesting issues being brought before the court there, and us getting a real glimpse into what occurred that awful night, June the 9th, 2019, when Geoffrey Paschel allegedly brutally beat his fiance at the time, and then took her cell phone so she couldn't call for help, as well as her computer and her keys, according to the state of Tennessee, so that she could not leave the home, her car keys, that is. But as the testimony has told us so far, according to her neighbor, she was able to escape at one point when she told her neighbor that her fiance at the time fell asleep and she was pretending to be asleep, and got out barefoot, ran for help. And that video evidence on the body camera footage raises some interesting hearsay issues. And I think it's really appropriate to discuss now in the program whether or not they should come in. Let me bring in our guests.
All right, guys, we're going to end this. And when they come back, I will bring it back to you. If you're able to be here, that'll be wonderful. But for right now, I'm just going to end the live stream. I'm going to keep it up soon as they come back on. Okay, Cecilia, you're watching it on Court TV. You guys want to watch it on Court TV? We can come back later on this evening and discuss what we saw, or I can stream it. You let me know what you want to do. But it's just the way they twisted things and everything else. They got themselves in trouble with him attacking her before she even took the stand. Geoffrey has been attacking this woman all through the media for I don't know how long, and he's not helping his case, and his lawyer is just as arrogant and prickish as he is. So you guys just let me know what you want to do. I can stream it, or we can all watch it on Court TV and then come back later on and discuss it. So let me know what you want to do. Okay, you like me streaming it? Okay. Okay, I will. Oh my God, Breezy girl. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's what we're going to do, guys. Soon as they come back from lunch, you will see me pop back up again. I'm going to just have to go in blind and bring it up, and then I'll have to fix everything later. Oh, thank you, Barbie. Thank you. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring it back up as soon as they come back on. So I will see you guys in about maybe 20, 30 minutes. I'll talk at you later, guys. Have a good day until I get to you again. Be safe. See you guys later. Bye.